as a collective in 2009 in Bangalore. So it's almost been 13 years that we're running MIST, but recently registered as MIST LGBTQ Foundation in 2000, like 2 years back. And so MIST has started as a organization that created safe space for the community, creating awareness about the community to the society. And the recent add-on thing is we want to try and empower the LGBTQIA community. The current projects that MIST do is HIV testing and PrEP at subsidized rate. Also add-on projects to those is like creating free PrEP services for students of from the community or someone who cannot afford even the subsidized rates of PrEP. We are trying to give the PrEP for free. Also give free health insurance policies, private health insurance policies to be specific to the transgender community, to help them live a healthy life. These are few projects. Apart from that, we do a lot of casual events to create safe space for the community. Weekend parties, art festivals, film festivals. These are creating awareness and creating a safe space for the community in general.
Sham, can you just
sorry, is that yeah.
can you just elaborate more on the kind of work which is happening and
while MIST started from Bangalore and we have expanded to Hyderabad and Pune, as an organization, MIST tries reaching out to every part of the LGBTQ community, be their class, be they from any class, race, economical background, or any religious background. MIST do not see a difference between people within the community and believes everyone is one. This has created a lot of backlash as an organization for MIST within the community as well as with other community organizations. MIST has faced a lot of, I would say, NGO mafia attacks where people from different organizations try to suppress MIST. People from different economical background try to attack MIST for being a space which includes everyone. It could be at parties, a social gathering of MIST, where we do not have any kind of rules, restrictions based on what people wear, how much spending capacity do an individual have. So based on that, we do not have any restrictions. Everyone is welcome to our events. So that creates a lot of lashes sometimes within the community, not only for the organization, just within the people as well. Empower young people to take over the LGBTQ movement and create a difference. So in this process, we have learned that a lot of youngsters rebel or create a new movement using form of art. The old days where we sit and talk about things, have a lecture, have a seminar, has changed. People now talk in form of movies, in form of street plays, theater, in form of dance, or in form of drag performances. There are different performances that youngsters do to portray what they mean about freedom, freedom of speech, freedom of expression. So we are trying to create a platform at MIST to give these voices a space by doing Art Fest. It's called, our Art Fest is called Queer and Allies Art Fest. Why Queer and Allies? Is because it's gone days where we only say queer people go to queer events. There are a lot of allies nowadays who come to queer events. So we are forming a union between queer community and the allies of the community. So through this, we also have a film festival called Out and Loud Pune International Queer Film Festival. It's been 6 years of doing this festival in Pune. So our Out and Loud Pune International Queer Film Festival has been 6 years right now, and we have seen growth every year in the festival. We have seen people from the age of 80 to 75 to even people within 20, 21 coming to the film festival. So, but the most enthusiastic people we see is the older people, like 75 to 80 years old. They come 8 in the morning waiting for the show to start at 9. And it gives us a hope that the world is changing. People want to learn. It, like, if you see in any news article or magazine, they say youngsters are accepting. No, every human being is accepting. We just need to get the story to reach to them. That's very important, and that's what is done by the Out and Loud Pune International Queer Film Festival. So we don't have something called membership or members joining the organization, to be very honest. Every person from the community is considered as member of MIST or family member of MIST. MIST never wanted to be a typical NGO setup kind of an organization. We wanted to be a space for like a family for the community. So when people come to MIST, we have a space called Queer Talks and Meetings. That is the first space where most members come when they are introduced to MIST. Queer Talks and Meetings is a support group setup. This is the space we use for that. People sit in circles, share their coming out stories, share the struggles they have gone through when they were coming out. So a lot of new people who come, they come with that same trouble, the same trouble of not being accepted, scared of family kicking them out. And we don't force them to talk. They are allowed to come, just sit in a corner, listen to others' story. That slowly gives them that courage to talk. Maybe they say, oh no, but this happened to me. So by mistake, they might be just listening to a story and they'll just suddenly want to answer a point. That's how they start having a conversation. That's how they start feeling comfortable in the group. That's the space. And in the lockdown, there were little different cases that came in. The cases of being robbed because of vulnerability of the community. There are a lot of people who know LGBT community is vulnerable. So they go, they have a date, and then they suddenly start threatening, blackmailing people with that, oh, I have your video, or I'm going to tell your family that you're gay. So there are different things. We had to run around to police station to support people in these issues. Apart from that, we had cases where people didn't know whom to talk to, because in lockdown they were locked into a 4-room wall and their family is around. They can't be themselves. They're not out. They're not able freedom to speak about what they feel. They have a lot of friends, not like they don't have, but they don't have the time or space to go out and talk to someone who is similar to them or someone who understands them better. So these were certain mental health stress that the community was getting in lockdown. So as organization level, we are very open. We do not have, like, especially when it comes to mental health, because we are not a trained mental health professionals. We have just been trained on peer counseling, peer support thing. So we do not give any advice, any suggestions, anything to our members. We are mostly like the listening ear. Let them speak and we listen to all their stress. But if we feel we have been trained in identifying stronger stress. If we feel there is too much stress and they do need professional support, we have collaborated with few therapists where we suggest them. Initially, if we know that some members are unable to pay for first or second service, MIST pays for the therapist, and then we slowly ask them to take it forward, kind of thing. But there are cases where people come to organization for support, for thing. So everyone who come here is a free space. They've been allowed, even in the support group meeting, they're let to say what they feel like. They're allowed to have their own ideology, their own mindset. And at the end of the meeting, we do not conclude anything. Like, for example, we are talking about what's the best way to come out. And everyone gives their own opinion and suggestion. We do not come up with a point saying that this is the best way to come up. We leave it to people to choose what is right for them, because everyone has their own different background. Everyone comes with different family situations. So we leave the choice to the member of community. Are you working class, you mean in class wise, or people who are in corporate? See, it's two different timeline, I would say. People coming out at corporate, is actually a little bit, they've gone through a lot of struggle and then they're coming out. I won't say that because they have money, they are privileged, it's easy for them to come. No. And we are talking about two different things. Now we are talking about youngsters coming out. Youngsters, it's a different generation, so they had more courage earlier. If that way, I would say I also came out when I was 19 in that generation. I won't say I had more courage. It depends on how much stress a human mind has gone through. Sometimes it takes uh, 20 years for this mind to be like, okay, I'm done with it. I'm going to now just live my life the way I want. Sometimes it might happen just in 5 years of stress. It's different person, different capabilities of handling the stress and different mindset. We cannot dismiss both people's problems. Both people's problems are valid and both struggle are valid. And I think people who are coming out in corporate, yes, now they do have a little privilege because they are standing on their own feet. They are able to take care of their financial needs. But youngsters who are coming out in their college days while they are studying, it's a little bit more stressful because we never know how their parents will treat them. We had a lot of cases in amidst where people have been kicked out of homes. We had to maybe help them with some shelter home or help them initially book at a PG or something. We are trying to have our own space where people can live in when they have been kicked out, but unfortunately we have not reached there. But yes, we have had a lot of cases where we had to fund people for living and support them in that cases. Explain them, do you really want this right now? Some of them have gone back taking their parents' support. Some of them are working as well as studying. I appreciate that as well. So it differs from, again, person to person and what is the level of capability of stress that individual can handle as well. Yeah. Very funny about it, but I don't mind saying it. Unfortunately, there is a rumor or there is a word out there about amidst being the elite queer space kind of thing. I understand where it comes from. Me personally being English speaking and maybe the price angles to our events and some of these make it feel elite, but rest assured, at our organization, we have seen how there are differences when we go to party. I've seen people fighting for just a simple chair, like I came and sat on this chair first. Oh, you sat on this, now I'm not going to sit on this. There is a like feeling dirty factor kind of thing. I've seen it from my eyes, at least this 8 years of being in Pune and organizing things. These kind of levels have taken place. I've seen while going to without taking names, while going to different organizations to volunteer, to be part of some event, we have been following very patriarchal rule. Oh, I'm the oldest here, so fold your hand and stand. If you want to volunteer, you have to volunteer from 4 to 9 to 5 only. You can't volunteer post this time. So there are class difference, not only because of caste. Sometimes it's because of financial abilities within the community. We try a lot at amidst. If you see any of our events, recent newspaper articles, if you all have read, we do not let even the space or venues that we book discriminate a person wearing a slipper. Like at amidst, you can come barefoot, you can come with your shoe, you can come in your shorts, you can come however you want. There is no discrimination, not only at amidst office, at any amidst event. You can walk in with any kind of dress, any caste or religious background. We do not discriminate. And if there is such things that happen, please reach out to us through our Instagram or anywhere. We always are very helpful in that way. We will stand up and say, okay, we will not support that. That has happened to our event. We have cancelled the entire event of 200 people just because one person was discriminated at the event. So that is the strong thing we try, but it has backlash to us as well a lot of time. I don't know how, but it happens in every city. It's very disappointing that a community that needs to stand together, who is already been suppressed by a larger society, also suppressed within themselves to each other. Yeah. First of all, I would say the rural knowledge has changed not recently, not because of 2018 377 verdict. I remember going, I'm from a small town actually, it's called Sindhanur in North Karnataka. Till today, we don't have an LGBT organization there. But in 2013, when 377 was brought back in place, and how the entire nation protested, made it a big news, that incident actually took information about what 377 is to as low as tiniest village possible. So I feel that that time in the history of LGBTQ community was so important. 2013, I'm talking, not 2018. 2013, because people spoke about it everywhere. It was like a big movement. All from Delhi to south in Kerala, people were like protesting literally every day from December 13th till Jan, Feb, I think March. People were continuously protesting for the law being reverted. And that impact, when I went to my hometown and I was just sitting and having a smoke with a friend who I was not yet out, was talking about, oh, this law is bad in this country. And I think that has made people, maybe here, maybe my friend was my age, so he said it's bad. But there were people who heard about the law, heard about homosexuality. Others, when I came out, I didn't know what was homosexuality. I didn't know what term gay meant. It was a struggle for me to explore why I'm different. But now at least there is information, there is word. And there are people who have maybe studied, working in cities, want to do something for their city. There are people who want to make change in those places. I'm not sure if every rural place have something, but yes, there are a lot of places. Even in Maharashtra, if we see, Kolhapur has a support group, Nagpur. I know they're not completely rural places, but it starts with different tier, one step down. Now I have people reaching out to me from Karad and I think Mulung, it's called, all these somewhere close by to Pune area. I forgot the word. They're reaching out to have their own groups and have their own support system for themselves. I think it will change. It's starting now and it will take more progress in some coming days.
How are
Sorry.
the groups in India are associated? How do they are connected if any issue happens, or how do they like, is there any system which is there in place?
No, there is no system in place exactly. It's just during 377 there was a mailing group created. I don't know by whom, but all the activists were added, not just the organizations or something. So all the activists were added to group. There were Facebook groups created. There were Gmail groups created. A lot of places groups got created. Just that to unite. It was not like a official thing or people followed some system. There was nothing like that. Everyone created groups and added whoever they know wherever possible to create that stronger union. But there are state-wise groups in a lot of places, but I'm not sure of Maharashtra or some places it is city-wise. Like if you see Bombay, it's called Kwami, which is Queer Azadi Mumbai, they call themselves. It's not just of one organization, there are like 10 to 15 groups. In Bangalore, it's called CSMR, Coalition of Sex Workers Union and Sexual Minority Rights, where including LGBT, non-LGBT groups as well come together to support LGBTQ. Sorry. So there are similar groups in Delhi as well, but I'm not sure about Pune. We do not have any such groups in Pune. But in a lot of cities, they have unions where they come together, different organization, and work together for the same cause. So right now there are no, I know that where this question is coming from, I know that there are a lot of LGBTQ cells and things created in corporates, not corporates, political parties and things like that. But there is no support as of yet, and I'm not sure, I can't talk about other. I'm part of one of the similar thing at All India Professional Congress. So our agenda or my agenda is first to educate the political parties. first to educate people within our party, and then we maybe talk to the world about it. I don't know how other parties are functioning, so I don't want to comment on that. But apart from that, I know that there are transgender. I forgot what are the term used. There are national level like a support system formed by the government. There are state level transgender welfare board. Sorry, it's called transgender welfare board. So they have formed these welfare board, but those boards are not functional at all. They are not doing any welfare to the community, to be very honest. Apart from transgender welfare board, for generic LGB, there is no support from the government. There are few states for transgender where they give a pension scheme of 500 or something, which is very peanut. I think 500 does nothing to a human in a month. So those are still a struggle. We need
What
to.
is this?
There are schemes in some states, like I think Maharashtra also had in just Pune and some places 3,000. In Karnataka, it's 500 pension scheme, transgender pension scheme.
Okay, which is from what age to what age?
I'm not very sure of that, to be honest. I'm not. If you want, I'll research. I'll send it to you later. But I'm not even sure those are functioning properly. I remember Sonali and other people in our team fighting for the one not getting 3,000 rupees in Pune. But these schemes are just something that has been verbally said and not practically followed kind of scheme. There are other groups who fight for gay marriage rights and other things, but I think at the moment, for me as a person, not as a amidst organization or not as Congress, to be both separate, as an individual, I think marriage is a privileged right. Someone who can afford, someone who can go spend money and celebrate it. There are a lot of people who need protection from our own societies. So I think anti-discrimination laws, not separating it from the worldly cause, it could, when we are fighting for it, why not fight for everyone in a bucket? Like women, Dalit, LGBTQ people, everyone need to be coming under that law, saying no discrimination whatsoever. I'm just giving these three words, but whoever it is, a human being should be coming under that thing. That's my thing. I think that is the major step we need to take forward. Anti-discrimination laws, not just in public spaces, anti-discrimination laws at workplace, like government offices. I know private companies do it these days. But what about a LGBT person working in railways, working in police, working in post office, for example? They need to be also protected. So I think these are more important fight than fighting against marriage rights, which is a privilege right now. I think we should fight for things like insurance. People say that if you get marriage right, you'll get all this, but no, it's another fight. After you get marriage right, you'll have to continue fighting for these. But I think right now people from the community have been, once they are kicked out of home, they are away from their properties. Banks don't give them insurance or their partners. During COVID time, what happened is, if my partner is in hospital because of COVID, I was not recognized as guardian because I don't have anything on the paper to show that either you're married or either you're on paper have a document saying that I am guardian to this person. There's no such document. So those are issues for LGBTQ community. So these are all things that we need to talk about. I think that's very important situation, right? So with legal, see, there are a lot of things that happen with legal. Sometimes at organization level, we cannot interfere in someone's personal space. For as example, as property, a lot of people come to us saying that my family kicked me out and giving all the property to only one. So we can maximum advise with a lawyer who is LGBT friendly, who can understand the situation and fight for. We can't just take over the entire cost of a person's thing. But then again, we need, that is a major task. We need to find the stress that the community goes to is to find a lawyer who understands their need. Because as per legal route or as per the law of the country, there is no law that says just because you're gay you can dismiss someone from their property or from their hereditary rights that they have. Every child has equal rights, just like a woman also nowadays have right to fight for the property. I'm sure even the child, even if you're male, female, trans person, you have right to fight. They will go through little stress if they're a trans person because of the name change. Those documents, they will go through a little bit mental stress. Running around to the government offices, those would be there. But they are completely legally allowed to fight for all their rights. Just apart from only for their partner insurance is a problem they don't have. Pandemic, what's happened is I feel something nice has happened post pandemic. I don't call it a bad situation, but just what we need as organization level is buckle up our socks, is like get ready to work more. People have understood that, including us ourselves as an organization, we have understood after pandemic that it's so important to have income source, constant income source to be there to run an organization, to pay salaries. Similarly, community members who some have understood that how important it is for them to save constantly, take care of their well-being and things. So there are a lot of need of jobs in market. There are a lot of people looking for right place to work. We are trying our best. I don't think we are yet there, but maybe in a year or so we will be able to maybe train our members of community to fit into right jobs that they need. We just don't want to be in a space where we train something that we want to train and people come and learn that. We want to come up with a system where we are capable of training each individual what they want to learn. So that might help us in empowering the community with jobs. And so pandemic situation has taught people the lesson that needs to be.
What at the organization level?
Organization level, like that's what we said. We have seen the pressure, immune pressure of people coming for, like, asking for jobs and placements and things. But we are not prepared yet as an organization to do that. But we are working towards it.